Happy Democracy Day. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. Welcome to Your View. And as always, I have the ladies with me. Obiajilu Ugbo, Dr. Obiajilu Ugbo. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Good to see you.
Good to see you girls too. So I have a lot of work on my table. My kids are midterm, so right now I won't be able to see them at all.
I think we'll show you on your face.
I plan to have them come work with me on set. I'm shooting my next TV series.
Right.
We're going to be working for 30 days, back to back.
Right.
And our producers here say, Auntie, we come to your work. So I've told them, any day I'm on set here, push my call time to 12 p.m.
Right,
I do this and I go, don't worry, I have the energy now. I'm still young now. You guys now 16, so I'm going to rugged it.
Yeah.
But it's fun. We started day one yesterday and it was really intense, you know. I'm doubling as an actor, producer, executive producer. So everything comes to me. So while I'm trying to get my script, somebody's coming, we need this, we want that. It's a lot, but I'm having fun because it's my element. Anything that gets me talking, acting, singing, you guys know now. It's my element and I'm having a good time.
We need an assistant producer to help.
Yes, I have an assistant producer. Yes, I have that. And I have a production manager. So I have everybody. The crew, the number.
Good.
It's not beans.
We're going into the
Good luck. Can't wait for that.
How you doing, Ramatu?
I'm doing very well. Of course, the kids are back for the meeting.
Yes, so eating up all the food.
I'm telling you.
That one is
Eating up
going
all
down.
the food in the house.
Bread.
Yeah.
It's another story for another day. Then yesterday was an emotional one for me. A very good friend of mine relocated to Canada.
Oh. You're going to miss the person.
Without her. She's very close to me. Very safe trip. And then, of course, we are preparing for the salad. And I know you guys are looking for oil that you're going to use to fry that.
Look at her. Market.
Yeah,
Obiajilu, they have taught you. You are selling your market.
There's groundnut oil that will bring out the flavor and the taste in your meals. And I also have suya spice that will bring out, you know, that balangu, that suya spice taste.
Okay, Auntie, we don't hear.
She's learning fast.
I'm telling you, they have taught you all this. How you doing, Amaka Fresh?
I'm fine, thank you. And as always, I'm going to take a cue. I'll not be caught wanting.
So fresh.
So this is the holiday. We have the accessories at the Yanga Lagos.
Oh, look at this.
Yes, so come by, come shop. But anyways, it's been an amazing week. I wanted to attend and experience the fella.
No, the band
at the shrine. I've never been to Fela Shrine before.
She didn't go.
I didn't go. So
I was there yesterday.
she messaged me, but then, you know, it was raining. It started raining last night. You know, getting myself there and back, and then coming here this morning. I just said, you know what, it's going to be another day.
YK is terrible. YK knows I have work this morning. YK said, I have to go. No, don't go. You're young. You can still be here till morning. Don't worry, we're not your age. I will wake up, I'll be at a party, and I'll come next day. YK. Tomorrow is June 12. I cannot be sleeping on self. No, she will not give me champagne. Take champagne. You finish. She will not put another one again. Says, YK. Bad influence. She did not let. She was monitoring me. Don't go. When she stepped out of there, I ran. I picked race past midnight. I ran. I said, this woman will not put me in trouble.
I missed that.
But I'm really, it was really fun.
She's my drinking partner.
And YK was on point. You know, the band was amazing. I enjoyed. It was a full house at Shrine. I was so happy and proud. 20 years on stage. Well done to the band. Well done to Idris, Lauren, who put everything together. Congratulations. And guess what? Me, I have banter.
Give us just.
My band A bill has come.
Hey!
Second bill, last
Have you paid for the first
one? Our previous one, yes, we paid for that one. So the new band debut came yesterday.
Is it higher or lower?
Husband, 130,000.
Oh, they've reduced it.
No, they didn't reduce it. We managed. We managed. We not used AC in a month.
Congratulations.
We have not used the oven.
You have been
microwave safe. We have reduced microwave to only extreme circumstances.
Wow.
Air conditioners down is even done. We bought fans. And then the washing machine using my other old house. Okay. I'm going to wash clothes today. Don't wash clothes in my house. Iron person, go and iron in the other place. Don't iron in band A house. Our bill reduced from 500,000 naira to 130. Brown was like, so yes, let's this is fantastic news.
Yeah, it is.
I'm happy. So all of us are tightening our belts.
Yeah.
But some of our neighbors, they were not so lucky. Some of them are still using air conditioner. Go teach you what we are doing. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Ongoing reforms will lead to stronger economy, says Tinubu. National Research Fund, Varsity's multipurpose labs get 13 billion naira. Witness, Emefiele ignored Buhari's approval in naira printing. DSS warns protesters with sinister motive. Why ethnic politics is a ticking time, by Jonathan. And I believe in council autonomy, Kwara governor affirms. Okay, which story?
So the major headline, the president has said that ongoing reforms will lead to a stronger economy. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had said this in the morning during the national broadcast to mark Democracy Day. And he went ahead to reassure citizens that his administration's policies will provide access to economic opportunities and fair compensation for all. He also acknowledged the difficulties, saying that reforms were necessary for a balanced and diversified economy. And according to him, he says long-term growth cannot be achieved without sacrifice. He underscored his administration's commitment to democracy and cooperation, where he went about citing the negotiation of a new national minimum wage with labor without threats. He said something here, and I quote, he said, yet there are necessary repairs required to fix the economy over the long run so that everyone has access to economic opportunities, fair play and compensation for his endeavor and labor. And as we continue to reform the economy, I'll always listen to the people and never turn back on you. In this spirit, we have negotiated in good faith and with open arms with organized labor on a national minimum wage. They will soon be sending the bill to the National Assembly to enshrine what has been agreed upon as part of our law for the next 5 years or less. And he says his administration is not about a dictatorship, dictatorial ship, something that he listens. And that's why he has not arrested anybody in this cause of discussing the minimum wage. He has broken bread with the NLC and TUC. They are still talking about it. He's giving everybody a fair hearing because he will make a decision that would, move with the tenets of democracy at the end of the day. I'm sure we're going to be talking about his speech a lot more, yeah.
So the National Research Fund, Varsity's multipurpose labs, gets 13 billion naira. So our president has approved 13 billion naira for the National Research Fund and the provision of central multipurpose laboratories in selected universities. The Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, was announced this yesterday at the Abuja during the inauguration of the reconstituted TET Fund National Research Fund screening. He received the report on the TET Fund and had a committee on equipment. He said that the federal government has was ready to provide equipment for the research in the country. President Tinubu's approval of the 5 billion naira for NRF and 8 billion for central purpose laboratories underscores his commitment to advancing research for national development. This is good work because some of this research is what we needed during COVID. And it's important that our universities are properly funded to be able to lead in certain research and help our country in general.
Okay. So I have the ethnic politics is a ticking time bomb by the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. He said that the ethnic politics is a ticking time bomb dangerous for democracy. He said this at a lecture marking the 25th anniversary of unbroken civil rule. He said that an increasing reliance on ethnic politics as the baseline for winning power is inimical to national unity and harmony. He urged leaders to demonstrate commitment to inclusivity, accountability, and transparency, stressing that these virtues are critical to building a nation where every voice is heard and every citizen is empowered. So what he's trying to say is we should all try and include every region, and politics should not be based on religion and ethnicity. It shouldn't be biased. If not, it's going to just wreck down the country in this democratic time.
So I have the Department of State Services, DSS, yesterday alerted the public over planned protests by certain individuals and groups in parts of the country today. The Director of Public Relations and Strategic Communications, DSS National Headquarters, Abuja, Dr. Peter Afnaya, made this known in a statement yesterday. According to his statement, he said that the protests are designed with sinister objectives to coincide with the Democracy Day celebration. He said, while citizens may have the right of assembly and expression, such should not be used to undermine public safety and national security and safety. He said attempts by some non-state actors to incite mass disaffection through demonstrations may turn violent, that it will not be tolerated. He also encouraged displeased persons to channel their grievances through the proper channels and right channels and procedures. Also yesterday, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Adekoke, assured residents that robust measures have been put in place to safeguard lives and properties and to maintain a peaceful environment for lawful activities. Friday spoke in anticipation of the potential disruption of commercial activities and traffic congestion by protesters that was planned today. He said any attempt to undermine this right will attract legal consequences. So yes, because they don't want any form of problems, distraction, fights, anything that will cause chaos today.
Okay, the Punch. Democracy Day, Tinubu hails Abiola, others warns against anti-democratic forces. Tinubu AU mourn Malawi Vice President, others killed in plane crash. Lagos urges caution as cholera kills 5 and 60 people hospitalized. UK varsity offers expelled Nigerian students flight support. Data breach, FG fines 4 banks, others 400 million naira. Supreme Court begins sitting as states counter FG on local government funds. Dangote Refinery commences PMS supply in July. Lagos Calabar Highway, FG reroutes mega project, slashes lanes to 6. Okay, let's take one story.
Yes, so Teesside University in the United Kingdom has announced a new initiative to support Nigerian students facing severe financial difficulties by funding their flights home, as reported by the BBC on Tuesday. We know how the story has been playing out. Students who were not able to pay their fees as a result of the inflation happening in our country, the devaluation of the naira. It's affecting their ability to pay up their fees. And the school is saying that we cannot take it anymore. We were told that they had given them 7 months prepayment, 7 times prepayment installment plan for their payments. They now shrunk it to 3 times. And, based on what was happening in Nigeria, it affected how they are able to pay. And so they decided to kick them out of school. I think there was a time we took it in the papers and I was saying that the government can actually intervene by appealing to the school. Now, a local food charity reported that 75% of the clients are now Nigerian students, saying that the extent of their financial hardship is really tough, and that's why they are patronizing them, so to speak. Now, the school is saying we can give you people transport to go home instead of just loitering around when you are no longer in school, since you are not able to pay your fees anymore. It's just
sad. It's just
very sad.
Okay, let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we continue with the show. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Yes, has a story?
Okay, so I have the story of Dangote. Excuse me. He said Dangote Refinery shifts petrol supply to July. He said the Dangote Refinery has said its plan to release premium motor spirit into the market this month will no longer be possible. There was a talk between the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, and him, where he said that that the petrol from 650,000 barrels per day capacity refinery will be out in July. Dangote said that this was due to some minor challenges, and that in his word, he said we had a bit of delay, but PMS will start coming out by 10th to 15th of July. But then we want to keep it in the tank to make sure that it settles. So by the 3rd week of July, we'll be able to come out to take it into the market. Then there are some reactions from Nigerians. There's this Facebook user, his name is Anthony Hayes, said it was not easy to have such a huge investment. You are trying, sir, and it will fly. We need more people like you to do more here in Nigeria, not abroad. Nobody is a saint. Then another person said anything that will make an average Nigerian happy is always a problem to get in Nigeria. Then another one said, when you know your refinery isn't ready, why rush to declare it open? Now it's over 1 year with story upon story.
Oh.
And then
Nigeria. Nigeria. Okay, so Nigeria. I have the data protection story. It says the Nigeria Data Protection Commission has said more than 1,000 financial institutions, schools, insurance companies, and consultancy firms are currently undergoing investigations for various degrees of breaches of citizens' data. This was at the Commission's National Commissioner, Vincent Olatunji, revealed that 4 major banks and 3 other institutions faced sanctions and incurred fines totaling 400 million naira for infractions relating to breaches of citizens' data. He revealed this at an interactive session with journalists to mark the first year, the 1-year anniversary of signing into law of the Nigerian Data Protection Commission Act by President Bola Tinubu in Abuja. Yes. He also said that, that the legislation allows Nigerians to seek redress from any form of data breach, stipulating that citizens' data is processed in a fair, lawful, and accountable manner. He further emphasized that the nation's data ecosystem has surpassed the value of 10 billion naira. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, 10 billion naira due to the multiplier effect of assenting to the bill. Yes. He stressed that the Commission's commitment to safeguarding citizens' data by global best standards and practices, deeming it essential for ensuring its safety, security, and protection. He also said that cumulatively, we have had over 1,000 reports of data breaches between the time we started and now. That the figure is low because of low level of awareness among citizens. And so I think it will be important for citizens, you know, to be made aware of their rights. Yeah. Yes, and especially when
to help enforce it.
To enforce it, especially when engaging with banks, financial institutions, everything that you know it should be done in a safe manner.
This is the work of media. Okay, moving on now. Our president has extended his condolences to the president of Malawi, President Lazarus Chakwera, and the people of Malawi in general over the loss of their vice president, Salus Chilima, and other officials who died in a plane crash a few days ago. On Tuesday, our president announced, the Malawian president announced that the plane was finally found, but unfortunately there were no survivors in the crash. Really painful. I think there were about 9 of them. So the president reacted and sent a statement to Malawi through his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngalali, stating expressing his condolence. Really sad story.
Really sad.
May his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Democracy Day, Jonathan cautions Tinubu and Shettima. Tinubu pays tribute to Abiola, Kanu, Kokori, Yar'Adua, Gani, and others. Nigeria's democracy faces crisis as public confidence fades, Masari warns. FG suspends PEMSEC over alleged sexual harassment. Yes. Cholera kills 5 in Lagos, and gunmen kill 2 policemen guard in Imo community. Okay.
Yeah, so I think the major headline there, it's an addition to the story that Ramato had taken already, but this is a different angle. So former President Goodluck Jonathan has cautioned that the prevailing winners-take-all approach to politics in Nigeria is detrimental to political injustice or political justice and unity. Speaking as chairman of the National Symposium to mark Democracy Day at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, yesterday, he emphasized the need for a more inclusive system where parties that perform well at the polls are given a role in governance. So he says that all this one that we winner-takes-all sort of approach, where if this political party wins, the other political parties are abandoned. Yeah. They are not, you know, called in to consult, and everything should stop. That we should find a way to get, especially people who meet up to 40%, you know, of the votes in election. There are some sort of winners as well. You can find a way to work with them. So I don't know how this is going to work, because I don't know any other country that practices this. But like we always say here, we can always divide or devise something that works for us. We can, you know, take this democracy that we preach about and model it into a way that it's unique to us. Yes. So if that is going to work, and the other political parties who do not make it at the end of the day can swallow their pride and understand that this is for Nigeria. Yeah. They can come together, work together.
Hired some people from other parties. I think it's important for us. But you see, I don't even think our democracy has matured to the point where
right?
Trust, because we're always having trust
issues. Yeah, and everybody thinks their own idea is better than mine.
You're going to actually undermine our own objectives. So there's So it depends. It's all about the mind, and that takes time to
We can even stop the competitiveness and see us work as a team to be better.
Another story.
I have the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Maitama Tuga, has written to the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mr. Yemi Esan, over allegation of sexual harassment leveled against the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Adamu Lamuwa. The sexual harassment allegation against Lamuwa emanated from Mrs. Simisola Ajayi, one of the aides of the minister. This is not good. Lamuwa had served as Nigeria's ambassador to the Republic of Senegal with concurrent accreditation to the Islamic Republic of Mauritania before his appointment as Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He said he joined the service in 1993. Tuga, in the letter dated May 27, said he was compelled to write him. To inform the head of service of a formal complaint against him of the allegations. Bearing in mind the gravity of the matter, I feel it necessary to draw your attention to it and to ask that you handle it accordingly. Well, in the meantime, Daily Sun gathered that the minister has been told to step down as of last Friday, and that the past Nigerian ambassador to Cuba, Okoyen, has assumed office in acting capacity as of Monday. If asked that if Lamuna was found guilty, what will happen? It was said that he will face the wrath of the law.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let me take very quickly, because we hardly take stories where police are actually victims. So gunmen have killed 2 mobile police operatives in Imo State on Tuesday. The Imo State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Aboki Dangjuma, said he would track down the killers. And the spokesman also said the same thing. He said the tragic incident happened on Tuesday by hoodlums suspected to be members of IPOB and its armed affiliates, the Eastern Security Network, ESN, who attacked the operatives in their numbers, firing sporadically. The operatives fought gallantly, but unfortunately 2 personnel and a civilian fatally hit. So they're going to definitely look and ensure they bring these people to book.
Okay, so I have the story for the cholera outbreak that
in Lagos.
That has killed 5 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Island.
What's going on?
Yes, water is very bad. Yes. So the Commissioner of Health, Akin Abayomi, warned that the state had recorded an excess report of severe gastrointestinal 30 cases in the last 48 hours. He said the outbreak resulted in about 60 hospital admissions and 5 deaths, recorded mainly from patients presenting late with extreme dehydration. So these are the symptoms of cholera include severe watery diarrhea, vomiting, rapid dehydration, muscle cramps, fever, and sometimes collapse. So he said that the treatment options for cholera could include dehydration using oral rehydration salts for mild to moderate dehydration, and then sometimes intravenous fluids are used when it's very, very critical. So please, Nigerians, take note of all those.
Especially now that it's midterm, people should tell their
very
careful. Yeah.
Vanguard, our final paper this morning, June 12, current challenges being used to impair democracy. Dangote Refinery postpones commencement of petrol supply to July. 24 senators without bill. Bills not only yardstick for assessing lawmakers, LP and others say. Why foreign investments aren't driving economic development in Nigeria, says Mogalu. Jonathan Tinubu, build democracy that will reduce frictions. Okay, let's just take a couple of stories and we run off.
Yes, so former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Professor Kingsley Mogalu, yesterday said that it's a mirage to think foreign investments will drive economic development in the country when some basic things are still missing in the system. So he urged the Nigerian leaders to stop wasting scarce public resources junketing across the globe to look for foreign investors. He said this while delivering the 5th Author Mbanefo lecture titled Education and National Development. So he says that what we have is an absence of a skilled workforce on what he called the not fit for purpose education of the education system in Nigeria. He says in his words, the strength of a failure of every nation depends on the strength of failure of its education. It is the foundation for development, and unfortunately, it's not a priority in our country. We talked about allocation of the sector in the budget has been revolving around 5 to 6% since, in short of the recommended figure, which is about 15%. And then he asked the question, what is the purpose of education? He says that education goes beyond literacy. Education is for economic development. It is for building national identity and good citizenship. And he cited an example. He said, if you see somebody who is going to Mainland Bridge to steal all of the gadgets that are used there, you know that even if the person had gone to school, the school passed through the person. The person did not really get education. And that it's unfortunate that we're still working with the curriculum of 1969, that we have not found a way to do education in our country to solve our problems. We are still using the colonial master's template for education. He made a very valid point, and I'd like people to really read it. I've always said this, I'm an educationist by profession, first of all. And I've always said that our education is not tailored to solving our problems. Recently, I saw a machine that was just invented to weave hair. We have been the ones doing cornrow. We cannot invent something to weave hair. No, you both still do and can't give us. And we are all going to school.
That is all we can take
No
on
verse,
Front Page
sister.
Review. When we come back, move on to it's Democracy Day, so it's all about democracy, 31 years of democracy, uninterrupted democracy. That's our focus this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So 25 years ago, Nigeria embarked on a journey towards democracy. It was a path paved with courage, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. Today, we celebrate 25 years of unbroken democracy. We will be discussing democracy in Nigeria so far, the ups and downs, and everything in between. Join us on the show to enlighten us more is a broadcast journalist and a social activist, Mr. Taiwo Olapade. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much for
Good
having
to
me.
have you.
Thank you so much.
All right, before I even start the conversation on democracy, Oga, the national anthem, have you learned it? You know it.
Well, I'm learning it.
You're in the process.
Because I'm
I'm in
about to
the
put you on the spot, because I wanted you to sing stanza 1 and 2.
Maybe you sing it first.
No, I can sing it after you sing it.
Okay, we can do a
cannot
chorus.
sing it
We can
in
sing
one.
it. Let's sing it together. So
After that
that,
first sentence.
I'm lost.
I know at all. I know.
Abaka, have you learned it?
I'm trying.
Obiajilu?
I will learn it.
Okay.
so we're all the same.
We are all learning. I'm
All
telling you.
learning.
When I heard it before the president's speech, it kind of gave me a sense of pride. You know, I don't know the words, but I mean, it just there's something about the tune that still gives me some kind of confidence as a Nigerian. I don't know, I'm just in my head, but definitely we're all going to learn. Aside from Nigeria, we'll finish. I don't even know. So we must learn it, hopefully.
We have to.
But we're so glad to have you on the show
Thank you so
because it's 25 years of uninterrupted democracy, and our president's speech spoke quite a bit about democracy. And one of the things that stood out for me was the fact that, you know, he reminded us that democracy is not about elections. It's all democracy is who we are as a people. There are so many factors, and the beauty of democracy is dissenting views. We must speak differently, but we must understand that that difference shouldn't lead to violence and repression. And so, you know, so I mean, those are interesting words. But what are your own view as democracy in Nigeria? Because myself and BC, and even me, I've said it all the time that I feel that we need to modify our democracy to suit who we are. You know, I've always said that for years. But you know, but the president is insisting that this is the only system of government that the people actually have a voice. What are your own views on democracy as we practice it here in Africa, in Nigeria?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. The president's speech, if you look at it, it lasted for around about 20 minutes thereabout.
Yeah.
And it touched on so many areas, starting from the June 12th.
Yeah.
Those who sacrificed their lives, you know, for June 12th, for the democracy that we all enjoy today. And it was also one of them. He also played a very prominent role when it comes to the actualization of, you know, the democracy that we are practicing now. We remember the days of the Nadeko. He contributed a lot. And he also made reference to so many Nigerians across board, across the line, either Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, that played very prominent role. And I think I give kudos to the president for that. So coming back to 25 years of unbroken democratic practice, I think I give it to all Nigerians. I won't say for politicians alone, because it is a collective responsibility. Whether we like it or not, we know we have people that we have elected into various offices, either at the national level, subnational level, and even the third tier of government, which is the local government level, which is the closest to we Nigerians. We all have a role to play to sustain these 25 years unbroken democratic practice. And like I said, I think I give it to all Nigerians, not just politicians, because politicians, if you look at this, how many of them are actually in the ruling class? I sat down with a former speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly a few days ago, and we were talking about how did we get to this point. And I said, you know, innocently, that people have been saying that the ruling class are the reason why we are where we are today. And he said, no. I said the ruling class, maybe put all of them together. The president, the governors, the council chairman, the ministers, those who are maybe elected and those who are also appointed into various
I don't even want us to talk about ruling class or not. I want us to focus on democracy, because a lot of young people just hear democracy. They don't even understand it. They don't understand the power of it. They even understand the fight that went down 31 years ago when the election June 12 was annulled. Okay. So there are a lot of things that happened. I would like you to just feel into the essence of democracy. Maybe we can remind ourselves why it is so important for us to be celebrating 25 years of this uninterrupted system of government. Okay,
thank you so much. Okay, let me start by saying that late Chief M.K. Abiola, when he stood for that election, when he contested, he had, you know, it was Muslim tickets. And Babangida Kingibe was his running mate. And he won that election landslide. It was a landslide victory for him. And M.K. Abiola had an agenda to reposition the country, to give Nigerians a kind of a worthy life to live. And that's what exactly he stood for. This is a man that, across board, he doesn't discriminate. Even beyond the shores of the country, you can see the impact of late Chief M.K. Abiola when he was alive. And he felt like, I can do more if given the mandate to rule the country. But unfortunately, like they do say, the rest is history now. The election was annulled, and we had an interim government at the point. But I'm happy that today, the successive government had given recognition to that June 12 election. Though we can't have M.K. Abiola back. But what the man stood for, are we getting it now in this current democratic practice? I think the answer to that is for you and I to really ponder over. But I'm saying that for 25 years of unbroken democratic practice, I commend we all Nigerians, and I think that is the way to go, because whether you like it or not, democracy is a kind of government that gives equal opportunity for all Nigerians. Compare it to when we are under the military rule, the military junta. Some people even say that, when some people make this comment that it would have been better to have a return to, I said, no, don't go there, because when you compare democracy, we all walk around, we say things that we like, and nobody's looking at, nobody's running after us.
All right, let me get a few questions in for you.
You can't do that under the military rule. You can't do that.
So I know we're celebrating 25 years, and I understand that democracy is supposed to be a government of the people, for the people, and by the people, right? And I want you to look at the 25 years of democracy that we have been practicing so far. Have we achieved a government of the people? Have we achieved a government by the people? Have we achieved a government for the people in these 25 years that we've had so far? Just help me, you know, explain it to us.
Well, that's $1 million question. And sincerely, there is always two sides to a coin. It depends on which way are you looking at it. And whether you like it or not, people will say we are still having a kind of nascent democracy. And it's still work in progress, whether you like it or not. But there are things, there are gains that we have achieved over the years. Number one, unity in diversity. We are still together as a country. We are the most populated country in Africa. We are over 200 million, you know. So imagine if there is a crisis in a country that has a population of over 200 million, where else can we run to? So for us to still remain together as one, I think we should give kudos to all ourselves, all of us as a nation, as a people of this country. And like I said, democracy is work in progress. Whether you like it or not, there are things that has been achieved over the years. But can we ask that, can we have done more? Yes, I believe we should have done more. And by doing more is what we give Nigerians that sense of belonging that indeed democracy is better than any other form of government. But it's a challenge to those who are ruling us, maybe the ruling class. Morayo said maybe I shouldn't say ruling, but whether we like it or not, there's nothing we will say that we will not make reference to those who have willingly surrendered our mandate to govern us. Whether we like, we must make reference to them. So I say this time that we are celebrating another June 12th as Democracy Day is a clarion call on all our leaders to also search their mind. We voluntarily surrendered our mandate to them. Have they really given us what we are expecting? To some extent, we can say yes. To some extent, we can say maybe it is still work in progress.
Okay. So for the past 25 years, what do you think are the roadblocks, you know, that you know is fighting democracy? Do you think that conflicts triggered by political competition and corruption are major threats to our democracy within the past 25 years?
Wait, corruption. Whether we like it or not, corruption is a major threat to, not even just in the country Nigeria, in any part of the world. If there is so much of corruption, definitely the larger members of society will find it difficult to have or to live a worthy life. However, when we say corruption, it takes two to tango. We need to ensure that, number one, I want to speak about the cost of governance. Whether we like it or not, we need to reduce the cost of governance in the country. I can argue it anywhere all along. Because when you look at the majority of Nigerians, and Nigerians the way we are, we don't really ask for too much from our leaders. Let us have good road, let us have potable water, let us have constant electricity supply. Let's have jobs created for the youths, for the teeming, you know, Nigerians, for the unemployed. Let's have a conducive environment for our businesses to thrive. Those are the things, and these are just nominal or just little things. But in a case where we are still battling with, we don't have lights, we have had 25 years of unbroken democratic practice, we are still struggling to fix our road. In that regard, I don't think those that have been saddled with that responsibility has really done well. And I want to cite one example. Dangote built a refinery within the space of over 10 years or thereabout with about $20 billion. In Nigeria, that we have returned to democratic rule for, now we are talking about 25 years. How come, as a nation, that we have not built one refinery? And in terms of even doing turnaround maintenance for the 4 major refineries that we have, yet it's still the same whole story. That means we are not being just. We are not being sincere with ourselves. If a single man, we know he's a businessman, and we know that even as a nation, are we saying that we don't have that money to build a refinery? Because our problem today also, we can also make reference to the petroleum sector or the energy sector. It's one of the major reasons why we are where we are today. And I'm saying that is a major question for all of us to answer, to ponder over. In the last 25 years, are we saying that the nation is not wealthy enough to have built one single refinery that will be functioning?
Let me get Ramasui.
Okay, so in the last 25 years, I must be honest, we are not happy. Nigerians are not happy with the outcome, with the way things are, because things are a lot difficult right now, especially for the average person. Yes. I'm going to speak for my region, like the northern region now. We are battling insecurity. In fact, insecurity right now is even
banditry,
yes,
Boko Haram.
Yes, so it's even like a trade now. They kidnap you and make money. They are not even asking for large amount of money as ransom. They can even collect as small as 20,000, 30,000, kidnap you, you know, and all. So it's becoming a business, you know. And this has been the problem back to back every president that comes will say, okay, I'm going to fix it, I'm going to do this, and nothing has been done. Presently, I think yesterday, the Zamfara state governor came out and he said that there's just nothing to be done anymore. He's giving up because the banditry thing, he has eaten up the states. If it's not attacked, if it's not handled, it's going to affect all the other northern region. And I want to ask you, what is the president doing? What plans does he have for this insecurity?
Well, insecurity is a big challenge. When you talk about the major challenges rather that is facing us as a nation, you talk about insecurity, you talk about corruption, you talk about infrastructural deficit, and you talk about maybe also when you talk in terms of infrastructure, it's also the lack of power, electricity, and particularly for insecurity, I find it so sad that people will come into a community and it will take them 30 minutes, 1 hour, and they will operate. They kill, they maim, they kidnap, and people will say we did not see an immediate response from our security agency.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they are not doing work. They are not doing their work. But sometimes when you listen to the reaction from these people, they said these people they took time to ransack the entire community, and it was after they left that we see our security agencies coming to to ask what has happened. I find that sometimes so challenging, so sad. But that doesn't mean, like I said, that our security are not also doing, because they are also overwhelmed, they are also overstretched. So many operations, so many operations that is being conducted nationwide at the moment by our security agency. And we're also saying that we're also under police. We need more police. Whether we like it or not, we have people of over 200. Our security apparatus, put them together, and I'm not up to 1 million. How do you expect a security force of about 1 million to police effectively people that are over 200 million? It is not a rocket science. However, even with the little that we have, we see that most of our security men are also detailed to VIPs. When you see a VIP moving around, I'm not saying that they also do not deserve to have an escort for one reason or the other. But in a case when you see a VIP that has been attached to about 6, 7, 8 policemen, DSS,
Right. Okay.
army, and the likes, and leave the rest of us to care for ourselves, it doesn't all go well.
Let me go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the president's focus on economy, what he plans to do to revive, and asking for Nigerians to, understand this season and try to see if we can wait it out to a brighter future. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So our president in his speech was saying quite a bit about the economy. Obviously, he understands where we are as a country, and he's almost begging Nigerians to, continue to sort of manage this season because there's a greater future ahead. What are your thoughts on that part of the speech when he talks on the economy and what he plans to do to revive it?
Well, the president at a point in his speech this morning, let me quote him. He said, "I feel your pains." And that's a very strong word. And sincerely, whether you like it or not, I don't think that a president or a governor can be elected to come and punish his people. I don't think that can be the case. However, we have given them responsibility, and they must give accounts, particularly on those responsibilities. When the president was coming in, he campaigned on the agenda of about the 8-point agenda. It is for you and I to ask that question now, that in the last 1 year, have we really seen that into practice? And like I said, whether we like it or not, there are things that have been done, maybe in the last 1 year, but Nigerians, the expectations are so high. Let us be honest with ourselves. And the kind of hunger in the land is so unprecedented. And that is the truth.
Let me paint a picture for you.
Okay.
And I like what you said earlier, that our president said, I feel your pain. Let's stay on that for a minute.
Okay.
A father tells you, I feel your pain.
Okay.
Right? And in the house, you see him buy a brand new car.
The family
right?
is hungry.
And the children have not eaten. He buys a brand new vehicle. His colleagues, all the managers in his office who has hired, buy brand new jeeps, right? And then they fly in abroad for their health and, paying school fees abroad. And the children at home have not eaten and they're hungry. And they're getting them just little, tiny things to eat. And the man keeps saying, I feel your pain. The point is, Nigerians hear the president, but they don't see it. So I've been saying it before. You can say renewed hope as a president. But are the people working on you, have they renewed their hope? Have they aligned with that vision? There's one thing to say, I feel your pain. Am I seeing that they are feeling? That's the problem Nigerians are saying. We're not seeing it. So when everybody you're working with is not aligned, it's a problem for Nigerians.
I made mention of the fact that we need to reduce the cost of governance.
Exactly.
I said it that I can argue it anywhere frontally. Until we do that, we will find it so difficult to get it right. And that should be across board, maybe at the state level, at the federal government, even at the local government level. The president said, I feel your pain. And like I said earlier, I don't think whether at the national level or at the subnational level that any of those that we have elected, we have the mind or the mindset of, I'm coming to office to punish Nigerians. However, just like you have also rightly put, you are telling us to sacrifice, but we are not saying that on your own side. So you need to practice what you preach. That is when Nigerians can really, let us give him time. But when we are not seeing that, definitely is when we see some kind of reactions, we see protests, we see people, not being so happy. So whether we like it or not, those are the helms of affairs. They need to practice what they preach, and we need to the cost of governance. That's a major problem, whether we like it or not.
So for me, it seems like it's a struggle for the ruling power, people in positions of power, to agree to this cutting cost of governance. It seems like it's something they are really holding on to, because every time you raise that conversation, they say, no, this is the package I'm collecting. No, this is... But there are other expenses, aside from the monthly salary that you're getting, that is actually wastage, as far as I'm concerned. We have data on some amount of money used for refreshments, used for fragrance, used for, travel, renovations. Those are excessive. And the economy cannot sustain that. We keep borrowing money to fund this. And then you come and say you are feeling our pain. Which of the pain exactly are you feeling?
Yes. And then I also want...
Now, how? So let me add to that. Okay. Now, how do we get them to understand that we need to remove all of these excesses for Nigerians to believe that you mean well for us? It's not enough to have an intention not to come and punish, but your actions are punishing.
Yeah. But that's exactly the point.
Let me let her add her own so I can respond.
Yeah, but like that, before I add my own, in line with what she also said, because that's what also prompted the minimum wage negotiation that also made the labor people not to agree, to say you can afford to pay this, because if the government is spending this X amount of money on excessive traveling and fragrance and stuff, why can't you pay? But then, you also have to put into consideration the private sector. Because when you talk about the minimum wage, it cuts across not just the public sector, the private sector. Because if it was just for the public sector, we would have insisted on whatever amount that the NLC people were arguing about. So,
but for the private sector, you need to have about 25 workers
before you can.
So people like us that have 2, 3, 4 workers, we are good.
Yes.
But even at that, those who have 25 workers within their establishment. Are we sure that they have that capacity to pay that money? We can say for government, fine. And for government to be able to do that, I want to also reiterate that I said we must ensure that we cut the cost of governance. How we are going to do it collectively, how we are going to do it collectively, and it's a collective effort. We can't just leave it to them. Now, recently we heard about 120 million or 160 million vehicle for each member of the National Assembly. And I asked the question, if there's a traffic on the road, this vehicle, does it have the capacity to fly? Why do we need that? We don't need that. These are just primitive accumulation. We don't need it.
We're having live pictures of our president arriving at the Eagle Square. It's important for us to note that he and the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, just arrived the Eagle Square. And these are live footages coming in from Abuja as we celebrate the 25th Democracy Day today as a nation. This is such a significant part of our existence as a democratic state. And I think as much as we like to condemn our country in different ways, we must also celebrate, maybe we can use today also to celebrate the importance of the fact that we have been able to stay together. Many countries have been through what we've gone through, and they've totally dismantled. Yes. They will not be able to stay together. We, with all the wars we've had, all the differences we've had, the repression, the depression, the struggles, and with our population, we've been able to stay together. So there's something worth celebrating here.
That's exactly what I said. That I give that to all of us Nigerians, that despite all the challenges, we are still together, unity in diversity. However, for those who are in the helms of affair, they need to think twice, because God forbid, if there is a kind of uprising from the country, definitely which country will have the capacity to accept us as refugee or as the case may be. It's a collective responsibility for all of us. It is a collective responsibility. And unfortunately, most times we often, narrow down on the federal government, forgetting that we have 3 levels of government. We have the federal, we have the subnational, which is the state, and we have the local government. And it is also on record that it is unprecedented that since the removal of the fuel subsidy that is also causing these major challenges that we are having now, states are getting so much money. Local government are getting so much money. Have we also sat down to go and ask our governors the money they are getting, how have they spent this money? Have we also asked our council chairmen the money they are getting? Because we all live in local government and in state. We don't live in the federal government. We live in state. We live in local government. Have you asked them? There are some of them in Lagos that I know that are doing well. There are some state governors that are also doing well, but we can count them on our fingertips. What are the responsibility of all these, other state governors? What are they doing? But we focus more on the central government, which is the federal government, living the state and also local government.
Fortunately, we have to wrap this up at this point, but thank you so much, sir. I think we are able to just share with us some of your insights, and we appreciate your presence here.
Thank you so much.
Let's go on a short break. When we come back, move on with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So the federal government says it is addressing power deficit by using alternative energy sources such as wind, solar, and all sorts. Today, we'll beam a spotlight a bit on the plan to use renewable energy to power the nation for optimal growth, as well as looking at how businesses can thrive using these means. Joining us now to discuss is Olanrewaju Ogunkunle. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So I know that renewable energy is energy that is derived from natural resources and can actually generate faster than it's consumed. Yeah. And some of them are solar and different options out there. But in your view, I know you're a private person, you're not working for government, but in your view, how possible is it for a government to rely solely, is it possible to rely solely on renewable energy versus the fossil fuels that we're using on that?
Yes, it's very possible, and a lot of governments all around the world are waking up to that reality, that fossil fuel is not sustainable, and at some point, with the war going on and different Middle East crises, cost of fuel is not stable, especially for eating in those climate regions. And Nigeria is also waking up to their reality. We all have an idea of the subsidy removal, the impact it has cost of running homes and businesses. So yes, renewable energy is the proper kind of power that can power homes and businesses in Nigeria.
Yeah, so I'm worried about this conversation, not because it's not good, as some of us have already potted to that as an alternative source of energy because of what's going on. But the fact that for now it's still very capital intensive, especially if you run a large household. Now, how do you think Nigerians can begin to do a shift if the government is not involved in providing it on a larger scale so that they can find a way to get it in and make it cheaper for individual homes as against individual people purchasing to get this themselves?
All right, so a lot of people have that concept that, okay, renewable energy is expensive, but it's a perspective issue. All right, so for example, it's easier for someone to say that a cup of rice is, let's say, 10 naira, but a bag of rice is 1,000 naira. So an average mind immediately hears 1,000 naira. 1,000 naira is expensive. But when you ask yourself the question again, how many cups of rice
is in that bag
will I get from a bag? Then discover that that 1,000 naira bag of rice is way cheaper. And people that have woken up to that idea, a lot of people have tried renewable energy and sincerely they spent money and it still didn't work. Wrong choice of combination, wrong choice of battery, wrong choice of solar panels. And this thing has to be configured to your lifestyle. If I'm out of the house all day and I only come home at night, I wouldn't go for any cast in book kind of renewable energy solution like 2 panels, 2 battery, this inverter. I should be able to make sure that I spend more money on battery for storage than generation. Because everybody will just say that, oh, we have this package, 5 kVA, 6 panels, 2 battery, this inverter. But that can't work for everybody. But if I'm working from home, most likely most of my power usage will be during the day. So I should spend more money on generation than storage.
Not on storage, wow.
So these are the basic issues that are there in the market that has made people feel like, oh, I just spent 2 million on solar. I would never try it again. After 2 years, the battery packed up. After 6 months, and they tell me I will change battery. And in some configurations, if one battery is bad, you replace the entire battery before you can. So those are the challenges that make people perceive that it's expensive. But when you make the right choice, the right kind of chemistry of battery, the right choice of solar panels, it's one of the cheapest things you can ever invest in.
Okay, so I know that there are different types. I know you have the solar, you have the wind. As an expert, which do you advise people to go for? Which do you think is the best?
So wind usually works best in open space. If I have a large farmland, I have like 6 acres, it's open, there's less risk because, when you are going higher, there's a risk of fall and all those other issues that can happen to the structure you are building to generate power from wind. But the one that can really readily be accessible to any business, any home now, is the solar panels. And for example, they're cheaper and easier to maintain. You can easily go to the street and find someone to install solar panels. But when you say you need someone to install a windmill in your house, then the conversation will change. Because you'll be talking of masts, and you're not a telecoms person. So it's even way more capital intensive. But the one that's easily accessible in this country that the government is also actually actively working on subsidizing is the solar systems. So we will always go this, and our sun is hot if you are out during the day.
It's not the same sun across the world.
So the angle of our position on Earth allows us to have a lot of sunshine. Okay, that's why we don't have too much long days and short days and all those issues.
Okay, so in my estate, there was a time we were trying to power our water plants, and we didn't have anywhere to put the solar panels. So in a situation like that, where can we put? What do you think can be done where they can put the solar panels?
So that's one of the major concerns, drawbacks to solar panels. You need the space. If you have an office that is 24 floors and your total roof size is just maybe 50 square meters, you can't use 50 square meters to power the ACs of 24 floors. So the ratio wouldn't really work. So solar panels might not be the perfect thing. But in your estates where you don't have enough space for solar panels, that doesn't mean that renewable energy is completely ruled out. You can invest in high-quality batteries. There are some lithium batteries that power heavy-duty systems, like 100 kVA, 300 kVA, massive batteries. And when that kind of battery comes in, instead of running generator to power that same plant for 6 hours, You have stations where you just run generator for 2 hours, the battery is charged, the battery continues the process for like another 4 or 5 hours backup. So even your generator will have to take a break, last longer, and your diesel consumption to power those kind of generators also drop. So you can still tap into that system even if you don't have enough storage or enough space for solar panels to run such systems.
I'd like to go back to what Bisi said earlier, because all of us, those of us that are in Bandi, are looking for options. Desperately looking for options. My husband, when he got the bill yesterday, he said, thank God, 130, I can manage this one, but I need to think of a long term, which is solar panels. He's already thinking of how do I invest in solar panels. But how can we do it on a bigger scale? Because right now, she said it's expensive.
It is.
So what do you again, let me go back to the question I was asking earlier. What can government do? Can solar panel actually help sustain a whole state? Because now there's no more on the exclusive list. Everybody can now generate power in their individual states. So governors can actually use this initiative. How effective would it be for a state to adopt this renewable source for power?
Either the solar or the windmill, whichever one will work for the state.
A lot of states are working on it. I think Lagos is also working on something like that. The only downside to that is that it will take more time, because when you generate bulk power in a space, you have to spend money to transmit that power from where it is to the last mile. And transmission is another major problem we have in our power sector. We all know that. So, but the quick win that is possible is to try to find ways to help individual businesses and homes, so that each time they are on the solar system, their pressure on the grid has reduced. So, for example, now I tell people that it's easier for you to walk up to a bank and say, I earn this type of salary, this is my salary range, and I'm trying to buy this type of car, I need financing. A bank will understand you easily. But when you walk in and say, I want to get financing for my solar system, only few banks understand that. But an investment in a solar system will yield more in terms of quality of life and quality of business than even a car. A car will depreciate, you will service it, and all of those things. And most times solar systems are also around that cost price. So what government can do is to make sure that sensitization, people can be aware of these opportunities and also find ways to subsidize it for people.
And then it can open up loans.
Yes, loans, so that there can be policies that these financial institutions can follow and know that, yes, this is another viable way. And it's usually more guaranteed to get their money back from power than from vehicles and other kind of financing that they could have been doing before now.
So, part of the problems we have with fossil is global warming. How will renewable energy sources help with the global warming? Do you think it's going to help?
Yes, it will help. For example, we have several offices around the country, especially in Lagos, at least about 3 offices that have been off the grid for a while. And to the extent that yesterday we even tried to used our solar panels for our office to power an entire event. Full tents with the ACs, with the lights, because a lot of people couldn't believe that solar can really do that. When we're saying that, okay, our offices are powered, the smallest office has at least about 25 air conditioners.
Your office?
Yes, the smallest of them. And they've been solar powered. There's another one that never has. In this country, it has no connection to the grid, not 1 liter of diesel.
You're kidding? I need to take a number.
This is what we've been doing for like 6-7 years.
You're kidding?
So we've been doing it for ourselves for years before we start talking to people, tested this, that, yes, this thing really works.
Really?
So when we're trying to power an event and they said, where's generator? I said, no, there's no generator. The organizers were like, are you all right? Are you okay? So what if? I said, no what ifs. This is what we've been using for years. Not 1 liter of diesel will enter this business. And that's how it works.
My husband needs to meet you. Because we need to
it really works. It really works.
That's interesting.
The right choice of equipment will always deliver that. And these are equipment that can last 10 years, 15 years. So imagine if you're saying it's expensive, how much will you pay for power in the next 10 years? With uncertainty, you don't know what diesel will become tomorrow. You know what petrol will come to, and you are saying that this thing I bought now will last me for 10 years.
Are you also telling me now that there are some batteries you will buy that it's forever?
What are the warranties and guarantees?
Yes, so there are some batteries you will buy that they will tell you if anything happens to this battery within 10 years, we'll replace it for free.
But can I ask you a quick question? Are we being selfish? Let me tell you why. Because the truth is that we're thinking of me, myself, and I. And I think that's part of the Nigerian problem. Okay. The country is telling us that they need liquidity in the power sector. They need money. The reason why there's a band-A, band-B, is because they want money people to pay. Now you're telling us renewable energy. So if I go and invest in solar now, I won't give Adelabu money. I won't give discourse because they need the liquidity. Because the only way you in band they're going to fix the infrastructure in the Nigerian power system is if we're able to put in that money for them to fix it. So I'm quite worried of. But it's the same mentality of me, myself, and I want to fix get my own solar.
The money that they need, they are already collecting from the band A. But they have...
They are not collecting, no. They never, they are not paying.
They're paying. You are the only one complaining.
Eh?
Everybody's paying.
But you pay the fee.
Every
It's cheaper
band
than
I know
diesel.
is paying.
You pay the
Wait,
7 million naira. Somebody
will
will say he has not paid his own 7 million
still
naira.
pay. He doesn't have a choice. He will pay the money. But that's not the crux of the money that they need. They have government parastatals that are owing in billions. They should collect that one.
Yes.
Let government
Our own
people
is nothing.
pay for their power.
Exactly.
You will see that these people will have infrastructure while they now focus on cost-reflective tariff. We will pay as Nigerians.
Here we are going. No, we are pointing finger. We are doing like this. We are doing like this. When four is pointing back at us.
No, we are here.
We are pointing at the leaders. Go and pay us. But you see, we also have a role.
So there's another point.
There are people who are not paying.
There's another point where it might not look selfish. So let me explain.
Okay,
we have a big bowl of rice. Let me use today's example is rice. We have a big bowl of rice for the whole table. If we are all taking from that bowl, definitely we are all dependent on that bowl.
Yeah.
But if I myself, I could get a cup from another source, I've sorted myself of rice, that means it's easier to manage the bowl for all four of you.
Yes.
Exactly.
And remember that Nigeria's population is increasing. So as you're fixing the power problem and increasing your generation, is it in same ratio with the amount of new people coming on that? So for us to even go off, we are relieving the stress on the national grid.
This man went to school.
So that national grid can now serve others that are not yet, maybe they are not yet financially ready to do it.
Yes.
Or like the use case I mentioned, you have 25 floors of building. Your total roof is no more than this old studio. How much solar panel? Our office could do that because most of our offices have a lot of large.
See, those cups, those small cups you're taking, that's the money they need to fix.
No.
That's
This is a drop. It's a drop in the ocean.
No.
Government
It's
should
a
pay
waste. Government should pay their waste.
You cannot be taxing us and you are owing.
They need the bulk sum, the bulk money that government is owing.
For their infrastructure. Sort it out.
They pay
They should bring back the
so we have to wrap up
on
I think.
electricity.
So thank you very much because I mean you obviously enlightened us to the options of renewable energy.
Yeah.
We need to talk about hydropower. You know, there's that. We have Kenji Dam. I mean, those are other options that are renewable. Are you looking at that area? How sustainable is that also? I know they've tried to do it sometime in the past.
Yeah,
But
so we've been using hydro in Nigeria for, if you like mentioned Kanji Dam, but hydro is heavily dependent on the level of the water and the likes. Global warming is coming, so some rivers are not as, they don't have enough. So that dependence, and we are not yet using nuclear in Nigeria. So depending on hydro is a little fishy for now. It's dicey, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's all. Now we have information. So those of us on Bande, please.
Pay your bill.
Yes, yes.
Me, I'm a patriot.
Pay your gbese.
I'm a patriot. I believe that because I mean the reason why I'm a patriot and if the government gives me a bill, we close our eyes and pay that bill.
You paid. I'm proud of you.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that
proud of you.
we paid it now.
Yeah.
So this month now our bill was 500,000 naira in April.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were crying.
Yes.
But then
You
this
handled
month
it.
it's 130,000 naira. We stopped using air conditioners. We stopped using washing machine. We stopped ironing.
things, yeah.
You know, we don't use the microwave anyhow anymore. We are redoing. In fact, I bought wara recently. Usually, but wara.
The cheese, okay.
Usually, I grill it, right? So my help said, "Can we grill?" I said, "Don't turn on that oven. Then you dare not." You know, I said, "We'll fry this." No, I can't eat fried food. But I'm not thinking how I can't put it in air fryer in the morning. I can't put it in oven.
Put it in fry pan, dry one. Don't put oil. Don't fry it.
Yes. So it's just
But there are solutions for like what you said now. What people are doing now, we've had conversations with estates as an entire estate come together and say that, okay, we still install for individuals, but that drives down their costs because they're buying in bulk.
Yes.
Saying that this entire street...
Pass your card.
Pass your card.
Pass your card. Collect your card.
So
all right,
working.
that's all we can take. Thank you very much for
Thank you
sharing
much.
with us.
Thank
We'll
you.
be right back.
All right.
Break. Fantastic. Oh, I need...
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So she's an actor, singer, dancer, voiceover artist, content creator, event and television host. With a diverse background in the entertainment industry, her work spans across several stage plays, movies, and television shows throughout Nigeria, with notable appearances in productions such as the recently released Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, FRK, the movie, a biopic of the life and times of a teacher and women's rights activist, Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, directed by Bolanle Austin Peters, where she played Mrs. Coker. Welcome with us, Yewande Osame.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you, Mrs. Coker.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you so
I mean, TVC was part of the entire launch of. We're really excited about it. Tell us about the experience in that, with being in that cast.
Firstly, it wasn't my first time working with Bolanle Austin Peters, but it was my first time working with her on a movie. I've always worked with her on stage plays, so it was my very first time working with her on film, so it was different. It was surreal, and I think the most I've taken away from it is just the fact that it was about Funmilayo Ransom Kuti. So it's such an important story. So it was amazing to just be a part of it.
Yeah, so I know being a stage actor, sometimes when you get on a movie set, it seems like this is a walkover. You know, we know how to do these things and stick to it. Now, I'd like to know what you felt when you got your script and the fact that in the midst of the whole thing, you're going to be playing a certain role where you're setting yourself apart from the common people. How did that make you feel?
It's challenging, and I like a challenge. I actually love characters, because sometimes a lot of casting directors look at me and they typecast. Oh, just play the, bougie, so, but then I was playing somebody from the 1940s for one. I was playing a friend of Funmilayo Ransom Kuti. There was just so much to unpack and so much to work with, rather. So, it was. I like a challenge.
Yeah, which part was more challenging? Which part out of the
really? So, because going in, I went in already thinking, okay, it's a movie about Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, and the women with her are going to be fighting for. Right, so I already had the mentality that I'm going to be girl power, I'm going to be strong, and then to find out that, oh no, you are against, you're separating something. Okay, so I had to do a whole, I had to change my orientation, change everything, and then so really that was what made it a little difficult for me, because at times I want to fight now. I want to join them and protest. I want to protest, but I had to run away at first.
So, yes, I can see that you ventured into educational content by coming up with your own production company, One Day Land, which is a content creation for children.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, so I actually worked in education in the United Kingdom, Key Stage 1 and 2, and my favorite part was always storytelling. I just love having them on the carpet and reading to them. And I always thought, what can I do?
The puppet shows as well?
the whole works, honestly. So I just really loved reading with them, the looks on their faces. And then we would also have read alouds for them. So sometimes when they're having their snacks or, and then also they would be able to pick the books they want from the library. So, but then what I noticed in the libraries was there wasn't a lot of representation for African books, African stories from African authors. So I just thought of how do I bring all African stories into one place where people all over and authors all over can have a platform to kind of show their works, and hopefully stories can be shared all over, all over the world.
Talking about Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, tell us about, I wanted to know a bit more about Bolanle Austin Peters, and because I know she was really passionate about this story. This meant so much to her. How has it been since the success announced? How is the movie doing at the cinemas? How are people responding? How is she feeling? Because I feel like she's on top of the world right now.
So she's very daring and bold, and she does things on her own terms. Yeah. So you're not going to tell her a biopic cannot work, or Nigerians don't want to watch historic figures, and like I said, it's an important story. So she did just that, and she did justice to the story. And I think it's just proof that Nigerians do want to see these kind of stories, and it can work, and it has worked. So I know that and I do believe there's nobody else that could have told this story but her. She's also a very powerful woman, telling the story of another powerful woman. And yeah, she did justice to the story. And I know this, I just hope this brings about more, you know.
Let's see this clip of you. I know that we have the clip on now. Let's see it.
My name is Morayo Ransom Kuti,
wife of the Right Reverend,
mother of Dulupo Olikoye Fela and Beko Larry.
This is about the plight of the Egba market women. Kabiyesi, this is concerning the flat rate tax on the women, the water level.
Ẹ̀yin obìnrin tí wọ́n ṣe ń rẹ́ àwọn obìnrin yẹn jẹ. Ó jẹ́ tí wàá sún wọn wá gbé tuntun débà wọ́n ní ká máa san owó mi.
The Alake has brought the fight to us. It is now time for us to take the fight back to him.
Pípẹ́ tí mò ń pè yín ni pé ká dìde láti.
Just give the order. If you fail, you must try again.
Whoa. Let's talk about Kehinde Bakale for a second. Like, that character, she killed it.
I keep saying nobody else could have done it but her. Yeah. There's nobody else that could have done it.
So well.
I don't know if she knows that, but I really hope she knows that she was made for that role. I look at her and I was like, are you sure this is not Funmilayo? Because, you know, before this, we had to do a lot of research, you know, watching videos and reading all sorts about Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, and then just seeing Kehinde, it brought it to life.
How did you feel, or how was it? How was the experience of, you know, shooting with so much crowd? How many takes did you people have to take, you know, for that crowd? Because I understand that even to get 5 people, you take severally because you need to get everybody. How was it? That scene was scary for me. Yeah.
When the women
ran
into the palace, very intense. But I went in ready, so you go in.
You shot that scene in how many hours?
Oh, can I remember? We were there all day. We were, you know,
for that one scene.
We were in, you know, and the sun is scorching, the sun is blazing. But what I appreciated was everybody had zeal and. Everybody was ready. Yes, energy never dropped. Everybody was ready. Everybody was willing to work. And you have so many women who, this is not what they do on a normal day. But they made it easier, you know. So it was it was memorable.
I know the movie's on in until next week. I think it gets off the cinema.
Yes,
So we need people to go watch. So do you know where it's being shown right now? Do you know?
So far, we've been in Silverbird, been in Ibadan, Port Harcourt, everywhere. So just check your local cinema and see when Funmilayo Ransom Kuti is showing. Need as many people to go and watch and share as well with others.
Yeah, I've not watched the movie, so I'm going to go watch the movie.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to.
Yes. So somehow my weekends are inside. Yes. I've not watched the movie. Like I was asking her, like I hope it's on till next week.
Yeah.
So that I can make out time to go see the movie.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you, your career. What else? What's next for you? What are you working on? Where are you?
So I've been since last year content creation, because I've always have all these ideas and stories in my head. So last year I just decided I'll just create lots of content, and it was really working out. A lot of people were very receptive, and the bigger picture is to definitely, hopefully soon, my own television series. Nice. So I've just been practicing, and you know, with all the content creation. So that's really where I am. And with Wonderland, I definitely want to reach more homes. So a lot of parents know that this platform is there for their children to, you know, encourage a love for reading and also culture. I actually told your co-host, Mariam Longe, she has a book called Vultures to the Rescue. So her book was actually on the platform.
Oh, nice.
Vultures, so that was, so I hopefully tell more stories from what. So yeah, that's really what.
So you plan to do content for children too? Like
Yes, that's already, So my YouTube channel is Wonderland. So right now it's read alouds with all stories from all over Africa. So I'm not just trying to limit it to Nigeria. So there are stories from Uganda, Sierra Leone, just authors from all over. So yeah.
Nice. When you come on Your View, we always like to just find out what you're working on.
Yes.
And some personal gist.
Give us some juice. You want they can't come and give some juice. What's happening? As fine as you are. Is it Oyinbo that is there? Or is it Japanese?
Are you dating?
Nigerian man will not deserve this. Nigerian man will not deserve this package.
Are you dating? Is there somebody?
I'm looking.
Somebody did some cheddar.
I'm single and searching. I'm single and searching.
Oh, cool. We love where you come.
You know,
It's fun.
why men these days? I just feel like they need to do the work.
Nobody wants to do the work.
High five. You just want it on a platter of gold.
Do the work and
And if you can't do the work, then
forget it.
Forget it.
You're a happy woman. You're happy with or without them.
Honestly,
So, exactly.
You have to be. You have to literally just be you, do you, be busy, and hopefully love will come around.
The emotional laziness is on a different level.
PDA, public display.
Public display. I'm not a PDA kind of person. No.
So if you have a guy now, will not see you. We hide
Oh
him.
no, I'll hide him.
You hide
Yes, I was actually speaking to someone. I was like, I hope you understand that eventually, if people get to know, like I.
Would you like to date in the industry or outside your industry?
So I never thought I would date industry. I considered it at a point.
So fine boys in that industry.
But
guys they for that industry.
Is that about fine?
But it's not about fine.
It's not about fight, So I think it works with people outside of the, when you're in the industry. Well, actually, then again, you want to be with someone who understands where you're going, and you guys can work together. So it's not a bad thing.
Have you ever had a kissing scene that got you really like,
Oh yeah, I had to do my first. I just finished the film about 2 months ago, and it was a lot. It was the first time I was conflicted. I was like, do you want to do this?
Oh, wow.
But yes, it was
a good
quite...
kisser?
Huh?
Is it a good kisser or do you speak Nigerian kisser?
Let me just keep that.
Father,
Today is public holiday. Please let us give them something.
In the very beginning, there was a form. They will let you know this is what's going to happen.
This is your role.
This is your role. And they broke it down for me, like, you're going to be doing this and this and this and this. Do you want to go ahead? And at first, I was very conflicted. So when it first came about, I was like, no, this probably isn't it. So when things didn't go the way, I was like, fine. But then it came back, and I was like,
God,
Was it cute?
God.
Because I always ask if you're going
you'll
to do
find
this,
out. The movie is out next year. You dare not.
My phone, I'll throw up on the screen from my house.
You catch feelings.
They were actually...
What was your question? No, she can't catch me. She's a professional.
They were actually asking my opinion on the guys, on a few actors. Like, okay, this is who we're thinking of. This is who we're thinking of. The first person was actually Timini. I don't know what happened. Timini, I don't know what happened with you. Because I know him, so I thought, okay, I'll be comfortable. But then when they were bringing strangers to me, I was like, hey, who is this? And it was. But then when they eventually showed me, I was like, oh, he's all right. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, let's go ahead. It helps. So yeah.
You're really pretty.
Thank you.
I think the industry will be really happy to have someone like you. Become a star, and I think the screens look so good on you.
Yes, thank you.
Wishing you all the best.
All the best.
Thank you.
All the
Okay, so one last question.
Yes.
Have you learned the national anthem? Be very serious. National anthem.
That's all I
You are the rest of Nigeria. You are the rest of Nigeria.
When she started, I thought
that is all I know. We have no. We have 2 minutes. Google it. We have to sing it together. Nigeria. national.
I know the melody.
Yeah, we know that one now. We need to. I'm trying to get. We have to sing it.
We have to sing it.
All of us, because our president is probably going to be watching this show.
Can someone play an instrumental for us?
He must see that we learned this song. Wait, who has it? Nobody has it.
Instrumental.
Somebody should. Our producer should please send it to us so that we can sing this. Okay, I have it. I got it. I think I got it. Ready?
Is it the left or right hand?
My network is
Are we supposed to? Yeah, I don't.
One sec, sorry.
It's left.
I'll send it to
Is it left hand?
For the pledge now, left hand. Yeah.
We have to sing it as a group. I think it's just two. I thought it was three standards. It's just two standards. Oh, this Arise the Compatriots. What is going on? It's not even online. Please, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll get the national anthem and we'll sing it for you. You sing it here. Take a picture and send it to me, or send it to our WhatsApp so we can all sing it here.
Sing it.
There's no break. Don't worry. We're here. We must sing this song today. Today is Democracy Day, and the ladies of your view must sing this song.
We gotta sing it.
I can't be embarrassed with us on this.
We are going to sing it.
Honestly, it's Democracy Day. It makes sense.
I'll just.
How can we not learn this thing?
No, that's unfair.
Oh,
We have to learn it.
Have you sent
Ready?
it?
Sent it, yes, I've sent it.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have it? Take a picture of it.
Yeah,
Use your phone.
so it's on, yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, go. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all out to serve our sovereign motherland.
I forgot the key.
Motherland, our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle, honor and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. One more, last one. One more. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so in peace and plenty. We more than this. Guys, we should be ashamed of ourselves.
Yes,
This is not
My goal is to go and recite.
not
Yes,
something
we're
to
going to learn.
We need to go. We shouldn't be laughing about this.
We need to learn, yes.
Even I am embarrassed for myself.
Yes, me too. I'm
We should have actually go and learn the song properly and
learn
sing
it.
it properly.
We
so that,
promise.
because I want our children to
Yes.
So we just had to do it because it was good to put ourselves on the spot.
Yeah.
So we like every other Nigerian, we've not learnt it. But I promise Nigerians that we'll come back to this table and sing
And
it
deliver
right. And
with the
deliver
right
it
notes.
with the right notes, properly.
Properly.
Standing.
And-
We won't sitting down.
Standing and.
We're still learning
Which
it.
one are we supposed to?
This was just a rehearsal.
It was just a rehearsal.
So please, Nigerians all over the world, wherever you are, please go and learn it, and definitely we'll keep the date with the ladies of your view, and we'll sing it.
Sing it
Thank you so
together.
much, Yewande. We had a blast having you here.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye for now.